Keith. Okay. Keith here. Today I'm going to show you how to find your tire pressure sensors. They're hidden under the wheel well. My car doesn't have it, but a subscriber has asked, how do you find them? And then most importantly, I'm going to show you how to go into the iCar Soft diagnostics near the end of the video, showing you how to check to see which one of these sensors may be bad if you're having some problems, and also how to, if your car does not have these sensors like mine does not have it, there is a rapid tire loss pressure. As for example, if you have a flat tire, it will tell you that. I'll show you how to see that as well in the scanner. Well, of the rear driver's side. On the SUV, you have enough room where you can look in without taking the wheel off, and you'll see plastic bolts. Okay, two there. There's some right there. Right. I'm gonna start off by removing those bolts so that we can take the plastic off. There's also a pin here, but I'm gonna see if we can, how far we can get without removing those pins. Most likely we'll have to take those pins off as well. So 2 pins down here, 1, 2. 1 bolt, 2 bolts, 3 bolts. Okay, I'm gonna remove all those bolts so we get access to the tire pressure sensor. Taking the wheel off is easier. I'm gonna do it without taking the wheel off. Using a 10mm socket, let's get these bolts. So we're gonna start off with the first bolt. The plastic caps, okay? I'm gonna grab that second one. You might need to use an extender to get in here. That's the second one. Looking towards the rear. Looking towards the rear. Third one. 10mm. We have one here. We have one here. Another one. That one's pretty deep in there. So I'm gonna use an extender. Alright, now there's a pin right here with a center pin. Gotta pull the center pin out first before you get to remove the other pin. So I'm just gonna use this hook just to kind of pry this out. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. It's in there pretty good. Pull out that center pin and then the whole thing comes out. See that? Now we have all the bolts up top and around removed, including this back pin. So we can start off by just looking for this insert right here and prying it down and out. Look out for dust. There's a pin right here. See that pin right there? Almost missed it. So we're gonna want to get this one out for sure. Okay, so we got that out. Remember, look out for dust. This wire right here would be connected to the tire pressure sensor right there if you had one installed on your vehicle, and you would check that connection, and if you were going to replace that module, you would unplug it from that and plug it in with the new one. Okay, so that's where that would go right there. kind of likes to pop right back into position. Okay. Now, on my vehicle, there is no TPM. I got the basic SUV, you guys. I don't have a tire pressure sensor module, TPS, tire pressure sensor M module, TPSM. But for this tire, rear tire, your tire pressure sensor module would have been right under this wheel well cover right here. It's a simple little electronic sensor device bolted onto the chassis, and what it does is it reads the pressure coming from the transmitter inside the tire, and oftentimes the sensor inside the transmitter inside the rim goes bad. But you change this out, you gotta change them out in a set. So there's a transmitter here, and there's a corresponding receiver that you would plug in underneath here. Okay. Reverse installation is the same. You just pop these pins back in. That's one pin there. That one pin there that I left in. But there's a pin that goes right here in this hole. So you push it in all the way in. Then you press that pin in. And there's one here as well down here below that we put out. Take this pin, push it in the hole, push the center piece in to lock it. Okay. Then we got our 10mm bolts. I'm going to just hand tighten those for now, and then say diagnose. I'm going to say okay. Benz 164 M class, gasoline engine, left-hand steering, and I have the 350. I don't have the 4MATIC, but to see the TPC sensor, you have to have a 350 4MATIC, or your equivalent has to have that tire pressure monitoring. So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go down to manual select because I know exactly where it's at. And you would scroll down until you see TPC tire pressure monitor, and there it is right there. Alright, I'm not going to be able to go into that on this particular vehicle, but it would go in, and if your vehicle had it, it would come back and it would show you all of the values, and it would show you which wheel well had or has the problem. Alright, so that's how you get into it with your iCar Soft scanner. Let's recap. So to get into it from your iCar Soft scanner, you choose your model, gasoline engine, left-hand steering, go down to your car. I like to go to manual select so I don't have to load all the modules. Scroll down until I see TPC tire pressure monitor. Okay. Say okay. And it will then read your system value. I want everyone to look right above the TPC tire pressure. You're going to see this ESP, electronic stability, right? And inside there you can look at things like your speed sensors in your wheels. So let's go down to the actual values. And in here you're going to see RPM sensor, and each tire, left front speed sensor, right front speed sensor, left front speed sensor, they're all indicating 0.69. The car is stationary, but this is another way to see the values coming from your speed sensors in your wheels while driving the vehicle. And if something is, one of the wheels sensors is bad, it's not going to indicate movement, so the others would have a higher voltage than the bad unit. Okay, they should all be saying the same, unless you are one, spinning tires or skidding, or you're turning the steering wheel and tires are spinning faster or slower. So I'm going to get out of that. ESP sensor. That tells you your brake pressure sensor and all of that. But to stay with the video, tire pressure loss. So this car doesn't have the individual tire pressure, but it does show you tire pressure loss. And no warnings found. It does give indications if you have a sudden loss in tire pressure. For example, if one of your tires is flat, it's going to tell you, and it's going to beep, and it's going to indicate inside of your cluster. But these are showing you when warnings took place on the vehicle. And there's some older ones in here at various miles. It's in kilometers. And when the reactivation and deactivation took place. Right? So there is warning capabilities on this car, but there's not the tire pressure sensor modules that will actually show you tire pressure per tire, unfortunately, on this car. As always, everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel if you find these videos helpful. What that does, it pushes my videos up in the search results so that other Mercedes owners, drivers, do-it-yourselfers can find them easier. Thanks and peace out.